Okay, I just listened because I make I leave myself little voice notes so I remember, because the downloads are coming thick and fast, and that's why I can't I get sidetracked as I speak, because it's just downloading so much, and I want to put so much in the ether. But going back to what Howdy Makowski was saying as well, that is not about, it's about understanding there is a system, understanding that your research and your growth means you've seen the system, you've seen the fraud that it is, the lie that it is, and you are ready to graduate. So it's exactly like a cult. You can no longer partake in you're ready to leave it behind. You're ready to outgrow it. So there is no point you getting stuck and waiting for the other people to catch on. You have to follow your own path, and you have to, if you want to leave the system, the only way out is following your own personal individual track. And about the system, look what we have uncovered. The people that put this system in place, don't they deserve to keep it? They've put so much effort in. Do you know what it takes to falsify languages, to dislocate millions of people, to create an education system, to create all this, what we now call fraud, that we've woken up from? But to create it, look what it took, the amount of work that it took. Because I'm discovering now, I just listened on the history of the crimes that Italy has done, and how many concentration camps Italy has built, and how many people from Africa has Italy dislocated and murdered and mass murdered and genocide. Hitler should have taken notes from these people, like seriously. Like there were 2 Italians on, what was the I just watched the video, a chick that looks like Meg. I will have to link it if I remember, but anyway, I was watching there 2 Italians. One is 4th generation born in Canada, and the other one, I think the man is from America, but Italian descent. And he couldn't say obelisk, he would say obelisk. That was funny. Anyway, that's just me being bitchy. Obelisk. But look at how structured, how, when you look at the architecture and the hidden history, when you look at the effort that it takes to hide and to pretend that we live on a globe, and to pretend to look at the amount of institutions that work on the principle of discovering what gravity does, and like, look at the effort that makes this system. Man, I think they deserve to keep it. You shouldn't, there are so many reasons why you should just leave. Once you're ready to go, to graduate, leave. But there is absolutely no, like, what merit do you have to try to sabotage this system, or to have the audacity, the arrogance to think we need to change the system? We need to change the way we do politics, the way we vote, the way we school people, the way, yeah. Where do you go to school to learn how to change a system? Where do you go to school to be a president? And I was watching Kumu, again, I don't know his name, but another amazing channel, and he was showing how the whole Abraham Lincoln story is basically a bunch of actors playing a role. And then long ago, I saw another video that was showing who was the parade for the president-elect, George W. Bush. There were the handicaps, the mothers it was a circus. It was not a parade. It's clear that this is a circus act. These are actors. No wonder that from acting, so-and-so goes and becomes governor of such and such, and from this show he becomes president and so on. It is a clown show by design. And it's been functioning, and we've been able to have running water and flushing toilets and jobs and get our little cars and go on our little holidays and have our little kids and have our little lives because of the system. And the immaturity and the lack of gratitude and the short-sightedness one has when they say we need to change the system. Dude, you don't like it, go. Get out. Don't use it. But dude, they've put so much effort. Just the falsified books, the amount of falsified books, the amount of falsified history in each country, the amount of fortsightedness, planning, and sorry, but they deserve to keep it. They worked fucking hard for it. I don't have them. I have no concept of where to start to create something better. Do anything. You can go in anyone's house and you can rearrange it or think, oh, that should have been better, that in the architecture would have been better, and so on. Yeah, well, thank you, Captain Obvious. But it's not that but I'm just saying, it's like you outgrow access consciousness, or don't bitch about it, just move the fuck along. It's not about I'm in this cult and I'm following it to the letter, and all of a sudden I've woken up and now I want to change it. No, start your own. If you're capable and competent to cover all your bases. But I'm sorry, they worked fucking hard, and none of them seem to ever retire. Until they drop dead, they are dedicated to their little pirate clubs. And they follow orders, they wake up, they dress up, they educate their little clones and their little body doubles. That takes work. I can't even figure out what to wear for the day. What hat to put on. I'm being frivolous, of course, but I'm saying we need to stop bitching about the system. It's just a sign we have outgrown it and we have to leave it. Really, it's outstanding. The more I see the fraud that is our everyday life, like everything we learned in medicine, like everything, even the way Google is set up, the amount of effort to even clean up Google to the way they've done it now, that you can't find fuck all about that, fuck all. Like even now there is this huge meeting that's happening in Portugal. I'm not gonna say, but the big and the powerful. And also there is this concept that they really know what they're doing. I'm in two minds about it. I don't think they really know what they're doing. Each is satisfying their own demon. And we just end up dealing with the fallout. And society and life carries on after each has satisfied their little calling, their little instructions, their whatever guides them, whatever, because we are all driven by an instinct, good or bad. And I think they have theirs, and they have desires, needs, and addictions that they are satisfying. But it takes a certain sickness of mind to plot so much evil and the decimation of so many races. But as I look back through history, no matter how many of them died, there was always more to take their place. So this parasitic mindset is simply here, and it's for them. We're all in this playground and this sand pit to flex until we outgrow it. But changing the outside just because we outgrew it, so changing the sandpit and transforming the sandpit is not the answer, because there is always the next one to need to flex in it. And that's why I don't believe any sort of going forward has anything to do with a collective consciousness anymore. Not for the awakened. The awakened cannot, the individual that has awakened cannot think in terms of collective. Because no matter how much I'm trying to tell you what I'm saying, the words will still be interpreted through your filters. My path will, let's say I form a cult and everyone follows me to the letter, yeah? The course of not one of my followers is gonna be similar to mine. They're not gonna gain the same as no follower of Jesus has become a second Jesus. You can follow until you're blue in the face and in the hair. You will not become that which you follow for as long as you follow. You have to outgrow it. And when you outgrow it, you start your own shit. And the moment you try to coerce and to bring with and to form a community, you're held back. Because what happens every time you try to teach someone what you know, you don't learn. You're not going, because the time that it takes for you to learn further from where you're at, you're stagnating to that. And that's why the educational system is so pathetic. Because someone that's a professor or a lecturer has studied back in the 1900s in the fall, and he's just regurgitating, so he's stagnating, he's plateauing to whatever he learned then, and he's too busy regurgitating every day to all the newcomers. So his own individual path is blocked and stagnated, and it's the only way for you to get your only duty is to your own individual self. To get yourself out. That's it. There is no, for your stagnation and your stuckness in the system or in the cult, or it's for as long as you're trying to headbutt with everybody to bring them along. So that's what I'm saying. Going forwards for the awakened, it's a alone and individual journey, and you will end up talking to yourself. As I say, talk to myself is the only way to get any intelligent conversation. I don't need followers. I don't need to repeat myself. I don't need to teach. What you attract in your path and what you seek in your path And when you're sick of this, you will move on to something else, and that will be your path alone, because everything that you find out will kind of hook upon your own understanding. No matter what I say, it makes sense to my understanding, to what I've discovered, read, lived, and experienced so far. And I cannot give you my life experiences and so 1,000 people can read the same book and get different things from it. Look at the Bible. Even in the same freaking cult, whichever one you choose, you will find two people, not two people that will have the exact same, unless they're complete drones and they just regurgitate. And another thing that I want to say here, going back to the one with the resonance and the feeling registers the resonance of things. I'm studying now alternative history, and the moment I click on a video or on a teaching that is from a drone regurgitating dead information that has no truth in it, I tune out, I'm bored, I'm unexcited. It reminds me of school. Every time they were trying to teach me their bullshit, my body said no, computer says no. I would tune out. I could not get myself to hear bullshit. I could not register it. It would not click in. The drones memorize it and they would do good. I would just copy. I would just cheat. There was not a test that I didn't cheat. So I did well in school because I cheated my ass off. There was no way I was gonna clog my mind with. Instinctively, I knew this is dead works. There is no life. The resonance, the frequency was telling me this is dead. Someone wrote something and they memorized it and now they're trying to shove it down my throat. No. So this is what I noticed, that I'm a very good resonator in the sense that my antenna knows straight, because the moment I'm hearing a video or audiobook or something that's bringing me true information, true history, true research, that to the mainstream seems conspiratorial and blah blah blah, well, I know it by resonance, how it resonates within me, because I want more of it. I seek more, I seek further, I listen, I hear, I remember. That which is dead, which is lies, which is a word salad, has no resonance with me whatsoever. So it is very, very important that you watch yourself, how you react to things, because your inner barometer, your inner lie meter and life meter, because truth, and I said this before, truth resonates differently. It has a different frequency, and that's 1,000% true. Truth, you'll know it because it feels different and it feels exciting. It feels full of life. You're curious, you're excited, you memorize it, you hear it, you are totally engrossed in it. That which leaves you empty and leaves you, what the fuck was he saying? What? Huh? That's your clue. They're talking nonsense. And that doesn't mean that they know that. They just learned something and they want to share it, obviously, but for yourself to have a barometer, a gauge of what's what, it's within you. Are you tuned out or are you tuned in? It's as simple as that. That's telling you what truth is. And honest to God, to be part of a cult and to be TikToking along years on and on and on, and to write my God, this thing with Dr. Berg and his wife and his kid, when you hear what this woman, and her name is Karen, no shit, seriously, Karen Berg, and to hear what she was reporting on her husband, who is Dr. Eric Berg, that's on YouTube, famous, the woman is a retard. The woman is emotionally stunted. How can you, where can you be mentally to even think that is normal, that is okay? How indoctrinated are you? Wow, and to not have that inner thing that says this is not okay. And that's why these people that cannot grow on their own end up having children, and through the rebellion of their children, they are made to question what the fuck they're doing, because with their own self there is no room for growth. So only through the strife that they have now with their son, they even have the slightest inkling to question, what are we in? What are we doing? Because the kid got out. Just like I got out of my shit. I told my mom, I said, you've got nothing to teach me. Look at your life. Your life is shit. I would not take from you half of a word. It's worthless. And when you don't have this instinct, you cannot build confidence. When you don't have this instinct, you constantly go against your true self. You're constantly pissed off with yourself. You're constantly in regret. You're constantly second guessing yourself. You're constantly one step forward, 2 steps back. But how can you build? You can't trust yourself. You can't trust yourself. And when you trust your mind, which is just indoctrination, just propaganda, just from the mind, from the instructions of the mind, must you wake up. Again, it reminds me of this woman from the other day that I was telling her to eat fucking popcorn because she has she looks like oh my God. Anyway, and she was still, with one foot in the grave, she's still thinking that she should go back to the job she hates for an extra 400. She's totally running her life. Her body is literally screaming at her. And that 400 and the stupid, and this woman wastes. There is not a week that she doesn't tell us that she throws out full garbage bags of food, of sweets. She changes her bed, buys everything, knee-jerk reaction. Like, she has no sense whatsoever. She's senseless. So she wastes, she shops senselessly, so she throws away thousands upon thousands. She has not a fridge, how do you call that? Freezer, kind of like a box freezer. What do you do in a freezer? You store for a long time meats and whatever because they're in the freezer. So she fills it up, and every 4 months she throws away everything. So she's killing herself, earning that extra 400, and she's wasting because she's so out of touch with herself And this is the thing, when your stomach is giving you problems, that's because you are, where is your instinct? Right here. You're completely out of touch with yourself. So how can you ever build any illusion of confidence? How? Because you can't trust yourself with what goes in your mouth. You don't hear, because your body is constantly telling you what you should be eating. You go to every Tom, Dick, and Harry to tell you what to eat. You're a freaking drone. If you don't hear what your body needs, you're not there. That means you're a programmed drone. And I was just listening to The Lion King. And obviously he's a Leo like me. So he clearly sees things the same way as I do, because he's speaking with the same tone. He's just fed up. And he's not spoon feeding followers either, because followers are the type of people that, I was just listening to this woman on There Is No Place Like Home. She's homeschooling her 5 kids and so on. And she's doing a lot of research. She's an amazing lady, actually, in many respects. And she's doing the best she can. And she's seeking, searching, and questioning. So she's on the right path. And not only that, she's taking her children on the right path and so. And she was doing some research in mountains and how many mountains are spoil tips. And she starts the new video explaining, because someone in the questions asked what's a spoil tip. And she spends her time, even though she had explained that in many other videos, to explain to this moron that could have put the same fucking question in Google and not act so fucking stupid. No, this moron puts the question in the commentary to be spoon-fed. Dude, like, to that level, they're not competent to take responsibility for their own growth. And in the sovereign movement, this is the most obvious. The biggest followers, the biggest sheep, expect to be sovereign. And they ask the dumbest fucking questions in the commentary, in the comments section, expecting the person that's already given them 1,000 hours of free information and tons of things to spoon feed them their bullshit questions. So that's why I said, for dumb people, God created Google. Seriously, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. And God sei Dank, they have a shot for that.